Hey everyone, welcome back. Ready for another deep dive?
Always.
Awesome. Today we're going to be looking at a true crime case. This one's featured in John Grisham's book, Framed.
Oh, interesting.
Yeah, and it really dives into this whole complex issue of wrongful conviction, how it happens, what it means, and why we should all, frankly, be kind of freaked out by it.
Yeah, it's a topic that really hits home because when the justice system fails, it fails everyone.
Absolutely. And that's exactly what we're going to be unpacking today. We're going to learn about this case, see what went wrong, and maybe, just maybe, figure out what we can learn from it.
Yeah.
So this doesn't keep happening.
Right, because these are real people's lives we're talking about. It's not just a theoretical problem.
Exactly. Okay, so let's set the scene. We're in Savannah, Georgia, January 31st, 1992. Picture it. A drive-by shooting. Tragic, right? A man named Stanley Jackson is killed.
Awful.
Yeah, and 3 Army veterans, Mark Jones, Dominic Lucci, and Kenny Gardiner, they get accused of this crime.
Army veterans. Okay, so these are guys who served their country, and now they're caught up in this.
Exactly. And here's where it gets really troubling. These men, they ended up spending 26 years in prison for this crime.
26 years. How could that even happen?
No, that's what we're going to figure out. So 26 years for a crime they didn't even commit. It's mind-boggling.
It really makes you think about, how much time was stolen from them, their youth, their families, everything. And it could happen to anyone, That's the scary part.
It really is. And what's even crazier, the main piece of evidence used against them was, wait for it, eyewitness testimony.
Eyewitness testimony. That's notoriously unreliable, right? We've all seen those documentaries.
You'd think, right.
Yeah.
But get this, the eyewitness was a reverend, Reverend James White.
A reverend. Well, you'd think a man of the cloth would be a credible witness.
You'd think so. But here's where it gets really messy.
Okay, I'm on the edge of my seat. What happened?
Reverend White, he later admits. You ready for this? He admits that he lied in court.
He lied? What? Seriously?
Yep, he said he wasn't even sure if the men he identified were the actual perpetrators.
Wow. That's just unbelievable.
Right. So how could this happen? How could a conviction be secured based on, essentially a lie?
Okay, so this is where we really have to look at the bigger picture, right? This case is like a textbook example of how multiple failures in the system can lead to a wrongful conviction. We've got issues with forensic evidence, instances of perjury, and even allegations of, get this, official misconduct.
Whoa. Hold on. Break that down for me. So we're talking about false or misleading forensic evidence?
Yeah.
Like what? Fingerprints, DNA?
Potentially, yeah. It could be anything from fingerprints being misidentified to a faulty analysis of the crime scene itself.
Okay. And perjury, obviously, meaning someone lied under oath, which we already know happened. But official misconduct, what does that even mean?
It suggests that people in positions of authority, folks who are supposed to be upholding the law, might have been actively working against justice in this case. It's a disturbing thought.
It is. So we've got bad evidence, lies, and potentially corrupt officials. Sounds like a recipe for disaster.
It is. And unfortunately, it's not an isolated incident. These kinds of systemic failures happen more often than you'd think. But, there's another side to this story.
Oh, what's that?
The resilience of these men. They never gave up hope. For 26 years, they maintained their innocence and fought for their freedom.
26 years. Just imagine holding on to hope for that long. It's incredible.
It really is. Think about all the setbacks, the disappointments, years of legal battles, filing appeals, constantly advocating for themselves. It must have been exhausting.
It's inspiring, though, right? Their determination, their refusal to give up.
Absolutely. It speaks volumes about their character,
Yeah. So what happened? How did they eventually get free?
Well, there was a turning point. In 2017, the Georgia Supreme Court ruled that crucial evidence was withheld from the defense during the original trial.
Withheld evidence? Like what? What could be so important that it would change the whole case?
Well, turns out the prosecution knew about another suspect, but didn't disclose this information to the defense.
Are you serious? That seems like a pretty big deal.
It is. It's a clear violation of due process. The defense has the right to all relevant information, right? So they can build their case. And this missing piece of the puzzle could have totally changed how the jury saw everything.
Wow. So basically the prosecution hid evidence that could have helped these guys.
Exactly. It's a huge problem, and it completely undermines the original conviction. It's no wonder the Supreme Court ruled in their favor.
So after all that, what happened? Did they finally get released?
Yes. Finally, after 26 long years, Mark, Dominic, and Kenny were freed on December 20th, 2017.
Wow. 26 years. I can only imagine the mix of emotions. the relief, the joy, but also the anger, the sadness for all that lost time. And it makes you wonder, how many other innocent people are out there still fighting for their freedom?
It's a haunting thought. And it's a reminder that we can't just assume the system works perfectly, right?
Right.
We need to constantly question, push for reform, make sure things like this don't keep happening.
Yeah, it's a call to action for all of us, really. We need to be aware of these issues, advocate for reforms, protect the innocent. Because this isn't just a legal issue, it's a human tragedy.
Exactly. If anyone wants to go deeper on this specific case, I highly recommend John Grisham's Framed. It's a powerful read, for sure.
Absolutely. And to everyone listening, think about this. What would it take for you to feel confident that the justice system is truly delivering justice? It's a question worth pondering, right?
For sure. It's something we should all be thinking about.
Thanks for joining us on this deep dive. Hopefully it's got you thinking and maybe even inspired you to do something to make a difference.
Knowledge is power. And the more we know about these issues, the better equipped we are to fight for change.
Couldn't have said it better myself. See you next time, everyone.
Bye, everyone.